I'm very grateful to be sitting down with a longtime friend of the TAHI, one of our first performances, I think, that we had as a brand when it first launched, and an incredible musician. I really admire I love your intelligence around music. I love watching you talk about music. Very grateful to be sitting down with Mazbou Q. How are we?
Appreciate it. I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm good.
Nice.
I was first introduced to you as this hip hop connoisseur, but I remember Evie, my old co-host, she was the one who was like, Mazbou used to do rock music.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, Buzzy.
Yeah, I used to do metal, bro. Like the whole screamy stuff. That was like the foundation, because I came up in high school playing drums and guitar and stuff and doing punk music, and then got into metal, and then sort of transitioned to hip hop somehow. I'd always loved hip hop, but I made it my sort of primary thing a bit later on in life compared to other people.
When I watch you talk about hip hop, it was clear to me that you had like a ton of experience in just music. Did you study music? Was that a thing, or was it just through performing music that you learned this stuff?
I did music at high school, but I didn't study at university. I studied engineering at university, but I was always like a lay scholar of music, if you want to call it that, like super nerdy about it, super into it. And I think I've always just had a brain for systematizing things, and that's why I study engineering. Engineering is all maths and systems and stuff, and so I guess I applied that thinking to music, more particularly rhythm, because I love drums, and so I thought about how to unpack rhythm and how to break it down into components, and then I figured, well, actually that's what rap is. You're just using your voice instead of sticks, and then that's how that stuff kind of.
It's the thing that I love, because I think just growing up for me, I didn't grow up around academia, and I didn't understand how to. I wasn't knowledgeable about the intricacies of music or performing music. I knew what I liked.
Yes.
And I think hearing you sort of break down musicians' performances on hip hop, how they hit these beat numbers and things like that, it's so interesting to me. It's so fair, and I think your passion for music is clearly there. Like you can see that come across. How do you stay passionate about music?
Man, honestly, can't answer that. It's one of those things you'd almost have to ask the reverse question. Like, is there a way for me to get away from it? My friends and family will tell you no. Like every time, because I go through phases of things I'm passionate about. I had a big powerlifting phase. I had some other crazy phases that I'd really get into. But every time I'd sort of go here, it always come back to music. I always came back. So, I don't even think of how I stay passionate about it. It's just, so much a part of who I am at the core. Yeah.
That's one thing I also really respect about you, is this appreciation for music as a whole, not just like a particular genre. I can't count how many times I've been to local musicians' gigs and you were just there. And I remember always being like, man, I was at all of these events, and your passion for the local music scene is really strong in particular, and you've been very vocal about your passion for the local scene. What does music in Aotearoa sort of mean to you? I know that's a bit of a generic question, but...
I mean, I think it's largely an underdog story, right? Like we have the odds stacked against us, so to speak, in terms of being able to really cut through a global industry. Like we have a small population, and even of the population, especially when it comes to like hip hop or genres adjacent to hip hop, we're not super popular here. And so in order to really make a career or just make any kind of headway, we really have to be creative. We have to have that extra drive, and we have to think outside the box. And so when I see my fellow artists just making it, you know what I'm saying, just hustling and making waves somehow, I'm always inspired by that, you know what I'm saying? And the least I can do is sort of give my support.
Are there any artists in particular that you think are really pushing those creative boundaries musically here in Aotearoa?
Yeah, there are a few, especially within the African community, man. I love my boy Timmy the First at the moment. Yeah, he's doing some great stuff, man, like in the studio and live. Brilliant mind, brilliantly passionate. My boy Chinonso, who I do a lot of production with and writing with, dude is a genius. A genius. Will come in the studio with 60 vocal parts in his head, being like, oh, okay, just hit record and just stack these harmonies. And I'm like, dude, this guy's a Mozart. No one knows about him, which is I really want that to change. But yeah, a lot of guys in our community and women in our community doing incredible stuff. Yeah.
One of those being Asha.
Yeah.
You had the fortunate to work with her, as well as Team New Zealand. Is that right? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry, my notes are on my phone, and I just started playing. I'm not just browsing on Reddit or something. You teamed up with the New Zealand team.
Yeah.
To create a pretty powerful sort of anthem. Would that be the way to describe it?
Yeah. So basically, I had approached the New Zealand Olympic team a couple years ago, before the Summer Olympics, for Tokyo.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, like, I'm keen to do some music with you guys. And they're like, yeah. But then they ended up doing that project, the summer project with Toy. Making that song, which was great because they involved the athletes and stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. They hit me up at the start of this year being like, hey, you still want to work with us? And I'm like, the Olympics are still a couple years away. They're like, yeah, the Winter Olympics is next year. I was like, oh, snap. And they're like, yeah, we'd love to look at doing a project where we get some athletes and you make some songs. So it was this crazy thing where I went down to Wanaka in August. I met 3 incredible Winter Olympics athletes, free skiers, snowboarders, and I brought them into a studio that I hired down there. And I wrote some songs for them basically in a day. And it was all about sort of getting to know their stories, their mindset, and understanding what inspires them and helps them focus and stuff. And obviously the kind of music that they listen to and love, and creating something that will, inspire them, reflect their stories back to them. That's one of the big things, right? Because when you're a high-performing athlete or musician, you get so caught up in the present moment and what you're about to do and the pressure that comes with that you sometimes forget to reflect on all the things that you've been through to get to where you are. And so being a storyteller, I'm able to sort of help them reflect and provide something really special for them. And in turn, it was really special for me, because I was reminded about the passion and the striving involved in what I do and the obstacles that I have to climb over to get to where I am. So I was giving them a gift and they were giving me a gift. It was real special, man. So that song, I'm a Star with Asha, that was the first track, but there are 2 more to come this month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how good.
Yeah, man.
What's that like writing? Because, I mean, I guess I could relate to the idea of storytelling of your own experiences, but you're sort of telling the story or creating the song for someone else. What's that like? What's that prep look like when you're doing something like that?
Oh, man, it's beautiful. So we had like a corridor, we had a talk, and it was just getting to know them and understanding, like I said, their mindset, and then just drawing parallels between what they go through and what I've been through in my life. Writing for Ruby in particular, that was the athlete that I did I'm a Star for, was actually very easy because when I talked to her and she talked about being born in like this where she was born, what she had to sort of endure, the pressures that she faced, the obstacles she overcame. I'm like, that's the classic story of someone like overcoming odds and just doing their best. I'm like, I can resonate with that. And so writing from her perspective, I was writing for her and writing for me as well. And I put up a social media post just recently about how it was actually quite transformative because the confidence that I saw that she had in herself, that she has to have because she's doing these high stakes, tricks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The confidence that she has to have. I'm like, damn, I need to have that in me as well. So it was a transformative experience, but it was, all about getting to know them and, finding the commonality there.
Did you give a crack at snowboarding or skiing?
No. No. Oh, man. Honestly, anything, like my center of gravity is too high. I'm 6'4", all leg, so I fall over real quick. Anything that moves under my feet, skating, snowboarding, surfing, don't even bother, bro.
I really wanted to skateboard as a kid, but that's a lot of weight. Coming down
I just broke a skateboard. I just break skateboard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just not in me. I call it a survival instinct. That's why it's not fair. It's an instinct to survive.
Yeah.
And obviously talking about recorded music, but also performing live.
Yeah, man.
Recently you announced on the Others Way lineup.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer recording music or do you prefer the live element, or do they have their own things that make them special?
Yeah. I think I'm very, very ADHD. I was diagnosed a couple of years ago. And just that made sense of a lot of my experiences. And one of the things that made sense of is basically whatever I'm focusing on, whatever's the thing ahead of me is the thing I'm like, this is my thing. So ahead of the sort of Olympic project, when I was recording this music, I was like, this is what I want. I'm in studio. This is what I'm doing, right? But Africa Day earlier this year, I put a band together and we performed. The weeks leading up to that, I was prepping the songs. I was like, nah, live music's my thing. So it's literally whatever season I'm into is what I sort of convince myself is my purpose. And I think that sort of lets me sort of dive into it and take it as seriously as I need to take it. I think coming up to Others Way, I'm definitely going to get the live buzz again, addicted to it. Because, I mean, coming from the metal and rock scene, that was live music dominated. We didn't do too much recording. Like, we did a little bit, but like that was mostly shows every second weekend. So coming into hip hop, yeah, I was always like a live dude. Then I fell more in love with the composition and the recording process. But every time, I get a chance to do the live thing, I'm into it. Yeah,
that's something that I imagine you probably took from punk that we don't. I feel like I would like to see more of in hip hop is rehearsals.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of rehearsals for hip hop performances?
Yeah. Not as much as I used to, just because like my band's like a little bit of a well-oiled machine now, just because we've been going for so long. But definitely at the start, yeah, man. And because I'm a producer and an instrumentalist myself, I take quite an active role in like working with my musicians to figure out the parts, arranging them quite specifically. So that's the other thing. It's not just like me rapping over the instrumental. Like there'll be parts I'm like, okay, we have to replace this because we don't have the synth sound live. So what are we going to do in the guitar to replace, what are we going to do with a live drum kit to somewhat represent what's happening with the sample drums, but also bring the extra element. So I'm very involved in a kind of music director way. And I love that. And yeah, it just adds to the whole energy of what I'm doing. Yeah,
it's one of those things that I love. That's one thing that I love about hip hop is that sort of rawness, that storytelling. But I do think like young musicians, I feel like there's nothing not cool about rehearsing and knowing how to hit the stage and get your music out to the people.
Yeah, man, I think it's really important, and like especially when we tie it into sort of my profile as like the rap scientist, or it's made me more intentional about thinking of rapping as a skill, not just something you can or can't do. Like rapping's a skill. Like there's the vocal element of it, the breath control, the tone, like being like where's your pitch going, how are you projecting? A lot of overlap with what singers sort of do. But then there's the whole rhythmic element. Okay, like when I'm live, what is my timing like? Like a lot of people just assume that they can rap live well, but like no, in the studio I had to push all your vocals back so it sat nicely.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Like live you sound terrible, so you should be practicing that stuff as well. And yeah, when you're rehearsing with a band, you can't hear everything as you usually hear it. It's all the more important to to put those hours in to make sure that you can pull it off live. And also there's a lot of music that in the studio just doesn't translate well to live, you know what I'm saying? Without putting some intentional thought in there. Like sometimes the performances, a lot of the time you'll have to figure out how to be more energetic and put more, hype into what you're doing live, but also not just sounding like you're yelling into the mic the whole time.
Yeah.
Which some people do.
Yeah. And love to them, I know that's the new generation. I'm not dissing the younger generation, but I know that there's a different sound these days.
But I will say this. Stop rapping over your lead vocals. Take your lead vocals out of your live track, and we're not here to see. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't come to watch you lip sync.
I didn't come for that. Like some people are literally just hyping their own songs live. Yeah. I'm like, guy, I could be at home listening to Spotify.
Yeah, there's no.
Not
yeah,
Spotify
I want to hear that perform. I want to hear you, the artist. I paid money to hear you.
And a lot of people are like, oh, I just don't sound good. Then why are you performing live? If you don't sound like, put the work until you sound good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you can sound good. It's just about getting there. It's the rehearsals.
Exactly.
Practice. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Others Ways coming up. Anyone on that lineup in particular you're excited to sing, perform with?
There are, but I'm really bad at remembering. Off the top of my head, I have to see the poster again. But I remember when that lineup dropped, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, that's good." I love the fact that it's like all locals.
Yeah.
That's really. I love when COVID shut down the border, and a lot of our bigger festivals were just like straight New Zealand. I'm like, when the border opens up, why don't we keep? People are still going to come. You know what I'm saying?
I love that era of, it was like every bar had a local musician performing at it. Yeah, you could genuinely walk Kingsland and into Ponsonby and there was local musicians at all of these. Like it was such a special time, and I think Others Way does definitely elaborate on that. And I do love the fact that it's just there's as a arrogantly proud Aucklander, there's something about it being on Karangahape that's just kind of like special.
It's like an iconic place, eh?
Yeah, you know.
And an iconic music spot as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you talk to, when I talk to older people about sort of the history behind live music on K Road, it's like, it's cool to see that. Yeah. Seeing that element there.
Yeah, man.
But there is a ton of information about that lineup and where people can get tickets available online, right?
Yeah. So you can go to like any of our Instagrams. We'll have the links, but the Others Way Instagram page. I think they've got a website for it as well. Yeah, lots of places you can get.
And you have another performance coming up later this month, is that right?
Yes. So there's a really important show coming up to raise money for Congo, which is obviously going through like some, a genocide right now. And yeah, they need a lot of support. And so a lot of African artists and I think some other POC artists are putting on a show on October 24th. Myself and Juju Lips are headlining. And then there's some other incredible like artists and DJs that will be supporting. But yeah, all the proceeds will go to Congo Relief, which is really important. So yeah, get there. Definitely get there.
And people can purchase tickets to that online or at the door, I imagine?
Exactly, yeah.
Where would people be able to go to find those tickets online?
Again, any of the artists, link in bios. I think there is an Artist for Congo Instagram page
I see.
that you can look up and get the stuff there, yeah.
Okay, man. But, hey, I've been a big admirer of you. I love the work that you do in the community. I think you do some really important educational stuff online.
Appreciate it.
And I just love your passion for music, man. I'm really grateful to have had this time to sit down with you. We'll have links to your social media on our page. I implore people to follow Mazbou just to educate yourself and be in the know and enjoy some incredible music. And thank you again for joining us on the show, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me here.